The Metis Tech Show.
Welcome to the Metis Tech Show, a show for HVAC professionals by HVAC professionals.
I like how you guys bounce back and forth between heat pump talk and food talk.
The Metis Tech Show.
Mitsubishi.
So I just got back this weekend from New Jersey. So
Nice.
Over the weekend, me and Kelly went to New Jersey. She has some family down there. So her dad actually was born and raised in Brunswick, New Jersey.
It's pretty cool.
And they live in San Diego. She was born and raised in San Diego. But so we went down to visit her family. It's all her aunts and uncles and stuff.
Yep.
And so we drove down Friday morning. And then Saturday, we went to the Midway Beach, which like I'm not from around there. I've never actually really been to New Jersey except for our training center. It's the Jersey Shore. You know the show like Jersey Shore?
Yep.
That's where it was filmed. Was on the
you were
boardwalk
actually-
at that beach, which I had no idea. But the beach was awesome. It was beautiful weather. The waves were big, crashing waves. Really clean beach. Like all the beach was really soft sand and inside the water. Like up here, you go to the Cape. It's all the seaweed and muck and stuff. There's this nice, clear, clean beach. So we had a really good time. And then she wanted to give me the whole experience. So we went to the boardwalk.
Nice.
And she had me try this pizza place called Maruka's. Maruka's. And apparently Dave Portnoy has been there before because they had like a glowing sign that said like Dave
Dave's been
Portnoy
here.
rated
Yeah,
7.5 out of 10. And it was okay. It's, you know, I'm assuming it's their type style of pizza.
Yeah.
It's kind of like New York style. It was thin. And it was like a really crunchy crust.
I like that. Yeah.
And it's one type you have to fold in half.
Yeah.
And I just got pepperoni on mine, and it was good. It was pretty good. The sauce was a little sweet for me. I'm not like big. I like more savory flavors in the sauce,
okay.
like kind of
That
the
makes
oregano
sense.
and garlic and stuff. And this was a little bit sweeter, but it was good. And then we went to this ice cream place called Coors, which is another like staple for that boardwalk. And they don't do ice cream; it's custard. So that was like that's their big selling point.
Did you notice a difference?
No,
No?
no,
See, we have a custard place near my house.
yeah.
I think it's amazing.
Really?
I think it's more dense. For me, I found it to be like a heavier ice cream, like more flavorful to me.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, I mean, I feel like I've been to other places that are custard, and it was a little bit more noticeable.
Yeah.
This one, it was
Not so much.
not as noticeable, but it was good. I mean, I get the same thing every ice cream place I go to. I get twist, chocolate and vanilla twist
okay,
with
yeah.
chocolate dip
Oh, okay.
because I love that hard shell
Yep,
chocolate.
yep.
Oh, it's so good. And we are lucky being in Massachusetts because there are so many good like local mom and pop ice cream shops.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go other parts of the country, they don't have that same kind of culture. Like every beach town you go to in New England has their ice cream shops that you go to.
Yeah.
And, you know, we live in Central Mass and we still have, I think, 3 options that we can, you know, choose from. And one of them, Mass Live, rated in the top 20 ice cream places in the state.
Wow.
And that's Rhoda Springs. I think that's in Sterling, if I'm not mistaken. I think I might be wrong about that, but Rhoda Springs, it's like wicked popular. The one time we went over the summer, it was like 40 minutes before we could even order. I mean, it was packed, packed. But yeah, I mean, we're so blessed to have like great ice cream, like within 15 minutes, no matter where you are in the state. But yeah, the pizza was good.
So in Jersey,
was a little-
you didn't like, I never paid attention to that. They don't really have like other, New England, around here we have creameries. Like we have a lot of local spots.
Yeah.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, it's not
funny
like
you brought that up.
You know, we travel all over the country, and it's not the same. Or you don't
Yeah,
find
yeah.
it. They have ice cream places, but they're not mom and pops.
Exactly.
Where it's like a
Yeah.
little shack with like they may even see the cows in the in the pasture at the same on the same property. It's not like that everywhere, which is a unique New England thing.
Very unique.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, it was fun. The thing that I regret doing is I didn't try. Gary told me I was supposed to try pork roll.
Yeah.
And
What is a pork roll exactly?
so I've seen it once.
Yeah.
It's like Spam kind of.
Oh.
And people from the Mid-Atlantic are going to kill me for saying that probably, but it kind of looks like Spam.
Yeah.
Kelly got it. She got a breakfast sandwich that had pork roll, egg, and cheese. And that was actually what Gary told me to try.
Oh, okay.
And I just didn't. I think I just got bacon on my breakfast sandwich. But I've been told it's something to try. I guess if you go further north in New Jersey, they call it Taylor ham. And then as you go closer to South Jersey and Philly, they call it pork roll, but it's the same basic idea. And, I know it's a staple, and I was told to try it. I didn't. The other thing he told me to try was Jersey tomatoes. I didn't have any of those. I could have. I'm not big on like raw tomato.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That makes it kind of tough.
Yeah, I don't think I would be a big person to just eat a raw tomato in Jersey.
Yeah. I definitely skipped on the like staple food options in Jersey, so that was my mistake, and we'll go back down and try it. But the beach was awesome. That area is beautiful. But
I haven't been. I'll definitely have to go. Did you see the house? Did you guys walk by it? Like the apartment, whatever it was, where they were?
Oh, yes. So it's actually funny. So where her father grew up, her aunt lives like 5 houses down.
Holy crap.
That's so cool. She's like, this is the house my dad grew up in. And I was like, oh, great. And she's like, okay, we're here. And I'm like, oh, so nice. She moved down the street. That's awesome. But then the other thing that was really cool is we got to see her grandmother actually had a house on the Jersey Shore. It's like a little bungalow. They're all like really tightly packed, small. Houses. And she had a bungalow, and they ended up, they don't have it anymore, which is like everyone in the family, they're bummed out about it. But just beautiful house. And just a beautiful location that like her summers were, going to Jersey, down to Midway Beach and Seaside Park, I think is what they call it, and going to visit grandma, and they would spend all week there, and it was like a vacation for them. And that was their like annual vacation. And so I got to see that. And then we got lucky. Her family had some pictures of when she was a kid up there at the house. That's and awesome. Her in like her little bathing suit, jumping around and all that stuff. So it was really cool. It's not necessarily like my dream to be that packed in like sardines. Like I like a little bit more space than that, but I could totally see how you get the nostalgia of like going down there every year. So
I not this weekend, but a little bit off topic. I was in Green Bay recently, and speaking about like local foods, I went out of my way and I went to when I was in Green Bay, I went to the Packer Stadium, of course. But across the street they have Kroll's restaurant. Okay. Which is like I guess it's more popular in that area, like a local spot for them. And I went in there, really the only purpose was for cheese curds. I wanted like local cheese curds. So good. I didn't even know there was 2 different types. Like you've been to Culver's, the fast food. Like
I have not, no.
Oh no. So Culver's also has cheese curds. Okay. Right. And you just ask for cheese curds. It's like going to Burger King and McDonald's, right? They just give you some cheese curds. I go to Kroll's and I say the same thing. Can I get some cheese curds, please? And she's like, oh yeah, which one do you want? You want white, cheddar, this, that? I'm like, wow. Yeah, exactly. I was like, there's options.
I guess one of each.
I honestly got a mix. Super good. Yeah. Very, very good.
Now, did you get it like poutine style, or did you just have the curds?
Just the curds.
Yep, okay.
Just the curds. Yeah. But extremely good. Yeah. But over the weekend, not over the weekend, last week, I was in Chicago and I had some pizza at Lou Malnati's. I can't say it.
Lou Malnati's.
Whatever. All you people from Chicago, I don't know how to say it. I'm from Boston. Can't say it. I don't know why. But I had their pizza. Yeah. And I know I was supposed to have a deep dish in Chicago. Did not have a deep dish because that's just not for me, I don't think. Yeah. Had a thin pizza though, and I had them just a plain cheese, and I had them add garlic into it. Yeah, amazing pizza. Sauce, the garlic, the cheese, everything they did with that pizza honestly was great. Yeah, I had no complaints about it at all.
That's good. Yeah. Now, is it like the chopped like garlic kind of stuff, or was it like actual cloves?
No, actual cloves.
Really?
Yeah. And it was like under
sound good.
Yeah, it was under the cheese too, so like they let it all nice and melt. Underneath, you could just tell like the garlic oils would just
permeates through everything.
Trust me, it was amazing. Yeah, if you like garlic, awesome. Great pizza.
Yeah, I used to do that a lot. I'd take like a whole head of garlic and then I would cut the top off. Yep. And then just put it in the oven and like roast it, and then it becomes like a spread. Have you ever done that?
Yeah, I've never done that.
Is it good? God, dude. So you can spread it. After it roasts long enough, it gets so soft that like I used to just spread it on steaks, and that's how I would eat my steak, was just roasted garlic spread over the top of it. It's really good.
Yeah, it sounds really good actually.
It's not. The thing is, especially if you're already baking something, like just throw it in there with it because it's gonna roast. It's small enough.
When Sam's making her sourdough, I'll put it in there.
Yeah.
Can't hurt.
That'd be good. But anyway, welcome everybody to the Metis Tech Show. My name is Bryn Raptor. If you don't remember, I haven't been on in a while, so.
And my name's Eddie.
And Eddie Shoves.
Eddie's here.
So we are going to talk today about some of the new error codes with the City Multi equipment. So we, specifically myself, I've been like living and breathing the City Multi X generation, whether it's redoing the presentation, building the trainings on our Mitsubishi Comfort site, the contractor portal. I've just been living and breathing this City Multi for a while now. And I thought it'd be interesting to talk about with the X generation, some of the changes, given that it's an A12 refrigerant, and some of the new components that are on there that we're actually going to see new error codes. And so one is just to make you aware of them, but two, just some helpful tips on how to get out of those service calls a little bit quicker. So we'll start with the 5114 error code.
5114.
Yeah. So we have always had error codes related to thermistors on the branch controller. So that's nothing different. The 5114 is specific, though, to TH14, which is on the branch controller. Previous generation didn't have a TH14.
Interesting.
They just had the 1, the 2, the 5, and the 6. And that was to calculate our subcooling and our superheat through those two tube and tube heat exchangers. That's primarily what we were using them for. But now we added a TH14, and it lives on the suction side, air quotes, suction side, or gas side is a better word for it, our gas side of the TH4.
Interesting.
I'm sorry, LEV4 that's in the branch controller. So standard logic for LEV4 is in cooling mode, LEV4 is closed. It's completely closed if we're in cooling only. When we're in heat mode, however, LEV4 will actually modulate, and it's helping to create some differential pressure, and it's flashing a little bit to the outdoor unit. So it plays a role in heating and cooling. It's just closed. It's a separation between your liquid side and your gas side. And so a thermistor was added on the outlet of that LEV, and really it's there to catch bypasses. So if that LEV were to fail in a partially open position and you're in cooling mode, you're taking subcooled liquid and sending it right into your suction side. And that could cause some issues. In fact, I was doing that as a bug for a little while in class where I would partially open LEV4 to create a bypass. And I was cautioned to not do that because it can ruin the compressor.
Wow.
It can take out your compressor because you're going to slug it, right? You're taking liquid right back into your suction pipe. And so this thermistor was placed after LEV4 to be able to catch that bypass, right? And so it can throw an error code for it. However, it also, just as like any other thermistor, is prone to failure. So 5114 is essentially saying that temperature sensor has an abnormality. And it ohms out just like all the other thermistors in the branch controller. So what they're looking for really is an ohms reading between 0.57 and 130 kilo ohms. And I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, we've talked about thermistors before. You're going to ohm it out just like you do any other thermistor. You put it in a cup of ice water, ideally. I never had one in a van. I never really had a cup of ice water handy. So I would just tape my temperature probe to the actual thermistor bulb. And then that's how I would get my reading to compare to the chart. Oh, okay. So that was just a quick way. So, okay, this is saying 72 degrees. I'm going to ohm it out. Where do I land on the chart? Yeah, I land at 72 degrees. The thermistor's good. But one thing I always like to mention with thermistors in general is all of our thermistors are NTC thermistors, negative temperature coefficient, which means the colder the temperature, the higher the resistance. And so the reason why I always talk about how important that is if, let's say you're looking at maintenance tool, or maybe you do ohm out the thermistor, but take maintenance tool because it makes a little bit more sense that way. If you're looking at maintenance tool and you see that a thermistor is reading a really, 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 really cold temperature, like negative 600 degrees maybe, what does that mean about the resistance on that thermistor? It's OL, right? It's such high resistance that it's OL. And the reason why I'd like to bring that up is because most of the time an OL means you have a broken wire somewhere. Now, it could be that the thermistor itself actually failed, but a lot of times it could just be that the wire got chafed and broke, and now there's no continuity at all. And so I bring that up because if you're in the field and you've got this system, and this is a particular space in the building where they want this cooling or they want this heating, they need it. It's a critical part of the building. Are you going to take them out of service because you have a broken wire on a thermistor? No, let's just fix it, right? Let's at least inspect the wiring, see if there's a break in the wire somewhere. Can you temporarily put it back together until you order the replacement thermistor? All day, right? And so I bring that up because, if you see a really, really cold temperature, it may not just be a failed thermistor. It could just be that the wire broke. You can fix that in the field temporarily until you get that new thermistor in. And then the same applies for if you have a really, really hot temperature. Let's say it's reading 650 degrees positive. What does that say about the resistance? It's probably none, right? There's almost no resistance, or you have continuity. If you have continuity, typically that means you have wires touching. So same thing in the field. Can the insulation on those wires chafe enough where now the actual conductors are touching?
Yep.
100%. Can we fix that in the field?
100%.
Absolutely. Right? Separate them, insulate. Now you order the new thermistor, but they're not taken out of service. So just in general with thermistors, pay attention to not just what is it reading, but like what does that mean in reference to the resistance? Because we already know that OL means broken wire typically, and short, right? Low resistance, zero resistance means short.
Yep. Those
are two things that we can correct temporarily. And it doesn't mean you have to actually take that unit out while you wait for the replacement part. You want to do the 4136?
4136. The 4136. So this error code is a safety shutoff valve circuit error.
Yes. So branch control, we're talking about the branch controller here. And, we are using those LEVs for our shutoff valves, right? Our safety device, our shutoff valves on the branch controllers are really LEVs. So we have LEV L, which is our liquid line, and then A and B, which would be on our gas line. And if it's A is energized, that would be for cooling. B is for heating.
Yep.
So this is actually funny. When I first found out that we were swapping out those solenoid valve blocks for LEVs, I wasn't really sure why, what the reason was for having an LEV in place as opposed to something like a shutoff valve. And this is conjecture, but I think it has a lot to do with this. This error code 4136, it will actually detect if there's no feedback from those LEVs. So if LEV L, A, or B are not pulsing properly, you get this 4136 error code. And so that was what kind of clicked for me was maybe they chose those LEVs because they have a better or an easier time getting a feedback signal, right? It's a low voltage DC. We do a lot of feedback signals using that low voltage DC. And so the board is actually seeing that there's no feedback and can throw the error. Because they're safety devices, we don't want the system to run if those LEVs aren't functioning.
Yep.
So I actually found this out inadvertently. Again, doing a bug in class, I unplugged LEV L on one of the ports, and it gave me this 4136. And I'm like, what the heck? I've never even seen this error code before. And I looked it up, and it was saying this shutoff valve circuit error. And you can talk about this next one, but the cool thing is it will give you, on maintenance tool, it'll give you a detail code, and the detail code is great. So talk about how that detail code helps you out here.
So basically in the detail code, what it's going to let you know is exactly which pin is not functioning. So if let's say, for example, let's say connector CNL1A is not functioning. It's going to give you a detail code letting you know that exact connector is the one that's not functioning properly.
Yeah. And that is it's awesome. So it's a big list of detail codes. The one I have in front of me here is maybe 20 or so?
About
20 different detail codes. And if you get that detail code, it tells you the exact connector where it's seeing the issue, where it's not getting that feedback. And so if you haven't seen our new X generation branch controllers, there's two boards now. It's not just a single board, it's two boards. And really it's just to accommodate all of the LEVs that are now on these branch controllers. So the expansion board on the branch controller, if you look at it, it gets 300 volts DC in. And then really the only other thing that's on it is all the LEVs. There's tons of connectors. Well, if you look at the detail code through maintenance tool, it will tell you exactly which connector has the problem.
So basically for a service technician, it's just going to really detail where that error is. You don't have to look around. You're not going to be looking through all these pins. You're not going to have to test every single one. That error code is just going to give you the exact detailed pin. You're going to check it out, and hopefully you fix it right away. It's just going to cut down. It's going to make your jobs a lot more efficient, is what I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think of it this way. If you have an 8-port branch controller, and each port has 3 LEVs, that is 24 LEVs that you would have to check if you just went off of the 4136. If you locate the detail code, it will tell you exactly which port and whether it was LEV L, A, or B. So these connectors are labeled for the port. So CNL1A, CNL1B. So it's actually, and then CN1L. So it's telling you the port and the LEV that it detected the issue. And so instead of having to check 24 and ohming out 24 LEVs, you got to get that detail code because it will tell you, no, it's actually the fourth port's LEVL. And then you can go and ohm that out and confirm the problem. So that was a big one. It was cool because I ended up just using that as the bug for the students.
Smart,
I was like, oh, well, give me an error code. So at least that gives them the option to go through, and they found it right away because they just looked up the detail code, found that connector, and said, oh, yeah, it's unplugged. And I was like, yes, it is. But it is great. I mean, having it be a safety device, it's important that they work. So giving the feedback signal is awesome. And just like refrigerant sensors, we might have talked about before, there is a benefit to having these feedback signals because, previously, think about a previous version. If there was a refrigerant leak in the system, you don't get to know where it is. Now that we have refrigerant sensors, we get to know where that leak happened. It helps us limit how much time we're on the job site. Same thing applies here. If we had a malfunctioning solenoid valve, you got to watch maintenance tool for a little bit and try to figure out, okay, yeah, it looks like only when we go into heating, so solenoid valve B must be the problem. Well, we don't have that now. It'll tell us exactly which LEV is not functioning properly. So it does cut down on the diagnostic time trying to figure these things out.
And you can find these codes in your manual and an MPro, correct?
Yes. Yeah, you got to go to the service manual, typically on MPro, look up the model number, actually exclusively on MPro now because it's an next-gen equipment. But yeah, service manual, look up your 4136. In order to actually get the detail code itself, your best situation is to go into the malfunction log of maintenance tool.
Okay.
So in the malfunction log of maintenance tool, you'll see the error code. And then if a detail code does exist, that's where it'll give you that number. That corresponds to where you got to check on the service manual.
Gotcha.
Yep. Next one is the 7102 error code. And that is not a new error code. We've had the 7102 for quite a while. But there is a new element to the 7102. So typically 7102 is it either saw too many indoor units or it didn't see any indoor units. Yep. And so it gives you I think the official name of it is something like unit connecting number error. And what it's saying is you don't have an indoor unit on here or you have way too many indoor units on here. And the way that my brain computes that is it only knows how many indoor units are on there through the MNet, right? So it's going to send out that MNet search. And if it doesn't see any, you get the 7102. Yep. Does that mean there's no indoor units attached? No, it just means that the MNet's broken somewhere. It can't see them. So that is typically how the 7102 goes, but there is a new addition to that 7102, which is on the branch controller. What is the new addition to 7102 on the branch controller? So
for the branch controller now, if the branch controller is not R32 compatible, you're going to get a code of 7102.
Yeah. So, and vice versa even. So if let's say you chose a 410A outdoor unit but maybe you didn't choose one, but let's say one was already on site and they wanted to update to the R32 indoor unit equipment. So new branch controller, new indoor units, it's going to give you this 7102 saying that your outdoor unit is incompatible.
Yep.
So, something to be aware of, particularly with the branch controller. It's not going to pair with an older model unit. It's all going to be X-Gen.
So this would be one of those codes where you'll probably see this on like someone trying to retrofit or trying to mix up some things.
Yeah. So we used to be a little bit more lenient. The refrigerant change makes everything a challenge. Yeah. You used to be able to. You used to be able to update your outdoor unit with NGen and keep your let's say you had you keep your outdoor unit a previous version of an NGen and then they update to a U2 instead of a U1. You could use older model branch controllers with the newer main branch controllers. Yeah. But you were stuck on the old piping restrictions. So we did used to allow this backwards compatibility, but now with the refrigerant change, everything's changed. Yeah. So if you have the R32 branch controller, the X-Gen branch controller, then the outdoor unit has to be as well.
Makes sense.
All right. Now we'll talk about the 7119 or 7120. So basically the difference between a 7119 and a 7120 is where it happened. So a 7120 is saying like it happened at this unit. 7119 says, hey, we detected the problem. It's just not this particular unit. So same with refrigerant leak errors. We have 1521 and 1522. 1522 says there is a refrigerant leak and it's at this indoor unit. 1521. I have that backwards. I'm sorry. 1521 is there's a refrigerant leak
in this unit.
at this unit. Yep. 1522 is there is a leak. It's just not me.
So basically, it's just telling you. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So
Yeah.
that code's just letting you know there is a leak somewhere,
Right.
just not here.
Yes, exactly. Look somewhere else.
Yeah, look somewhere else.
So that's the same that's going on with these error codes 7119 and 7120. And I actually found this when we did our startup on the City Multi equipment in the training center. It happened both in Boston and in Atlanta because I helped Rob with the startup there. Is we ended up with this 7120, and I'm like, what the heck? I don't think I've ever seen a 7120. And basically what it is that is the new error code that you'll likely see if there's a duplicate MNet address. It used to be 6600. And in the service manual, 6600 is still in there as duplicate address. But my experience so far has been that it does not give me a 6600 when there's duplicate addresses. It's actually giving me this 7120. So just be aware of that. You may see some new error codes on startup. And it's particularly that 7120 is saying you've got an indoor unit or a shutoff valve kit with duplicate addresses.
Yeah, if anyone's listening to this right now and has this error code pop up, just let us know. I'm interested now to know if it's popping up this code or the other one.
Yeah. So
Like
far,
how
like I
often?
said, so far I'm 2 for 2 with the 7120 as opposed to 6600. Particularly on the outdoor unit. Like if you check the outdoor unit, that's where I'm seeing that. But the thing is, if you haven't gone to the contractor portal and looked at the City Multi e-learning, but you're installing a lot of City Multi, you really have to go and do a little bit of training on this, particularly for things like these 7120s, because we have completely redone how the MNet's done.
Yeah.
The MNet wiring is completely different. It's not the way it used to be. And the addressing has changed because, ME controllers are only supported in certain applications. And then we have the shutoff valve kits that we now have to address. And so all of these rules have slightly changed. And I'm noticing both in the field and even internally, we're having some growing pains trying to figure all that out. I mean, our startup, we had our system wired wrong. Now I hadn't started it up right away, but we had some contractors in and they ran 2 separate runs off of TB3 of the outdoor unit to go to each branch controller.
Yep.
And so before we even powered up, we identified it and we knew we had to fix it. But, there's 2 terminal blocks on the branch controllers now. There's terminal block 2 and there's terminal block 3. That's not what we're used to. And we've been doing it a certain way for a long time. And this is the first time we've had a major shift in the way that the communication bus is done. And it isn't as simple as, TB2 and TB3 are options, and it's kind of irrelevant. Like there is a specific reason for each of those terminal blocks, and you will run into issues like 7120s. You'll run into 7130s. You'll run into 7102s. You'll run into 6607s. You'll run into all these communication related error codes if you don't have your daisy chain done right and your system addressed properly. And because it's such a major change, you really should look into it and look at the diagrams that are in the manual to see how that's done, because it's going to lead to some confusion on the first handful of installs.
Now, would you say the changes that have been made, would it be good for a contractor to get a refresher in class, like get a class refresher?
Yes, absolutely.
think, yeah.
So we are fully transitioned at this point to just an X-Gen City Multi class. So everything that we teach in our City Multi class is about the new product, the X generation. So in-person training is going to be your best bet. But not everybody can make it, and that's understandable, which is why we do those e-learnings. Exactly. So we have the e-learning that kind of lays out the new wiring schematic and all that stuff. Yep. So there's no shortage of resources. Obviously, the podcast is another one because we've covered it already. But yeah, I think that's going to be a big growing pain for all of us, especially if we're used to installing Mitsubishi, is where does TB2 go? Where does TB3 go? What if my indoor unit doesn't need a shutoff valve kit? I mean, it's changed and you gotta stay up to date on the new stuff. So
It's the trades. The trades are always interchanging. Everything's always upgrading or some new things are coming out. So you do got to stay up to date. Any job you're in, right? You're always learning. Yeah. You always got to keep learning.
Yeah. And one of the big things is, we, for a long time have taught that you just do your daisy chain and then the addressing really makes all the rules. They're the one that's really determining where everything exists in the system. And that's changed too. I mean, the reason why we have those 2 separate terminal blocks on the branch controllers is because that terminal block 3 is now responsible for telling the system that those indoor units have their refrigerant pipes tied into that particular branch controller. And that's a big shift for a lot of us who are used to doing it a certain way, is especially on Y series. The address is important. They can't be duplicated, but the daisy chain is how that system knows which SVK has which indoor units on it. It does not care about the address at all. It doesn't look at the address to determine that. It looks down that daisy chain and says, okay, I've got this shutoff valve kit on terminal block 2. Let me jump down to terminal block 3 and see which indoor units are addressed to it. And that's how it makes that determination. If we start getting willy-nilly with the daisy chain, you're going to end up with indoor units that, God forbid, a leak develops. And you could have a situation where the shutoff valve kit does not shut off because it's not wired into the correct one. So it is a big deal. It is something that you want to make sure you have squared away before you do your first installation. I think they're starting to pick up now, where we're going to start to see some more XGen getting installed. I just saw on LinkedIn somebody had one installed recently. So I know it's going to start picking up, and it's going to increase the need for training, because the mistakes are usually when people decide to go to training, not beforehand.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. But yeah, I agree. I think with all the error codes and all the interchangeable pieces, and with the upgrade of the XGen, going to class, I think is going to be the ideal. If you can do it, if you can't, you can't. You know what I mean? Like we said, there's other resources like we're talking about. This is one of the resources right now. You're listening to it. We're talking about the error codes for the system, and they've talked about it in other episodes. So there's an ample amount of ways to get the information. It's 100%. Really up to you of how you want to get it.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Why don't you take the 7121 error code? That's another new one.
7121. So the power off detection. So 7121 would be power off detection. That would be the indoor unit shut off valve kit or BC controllers are off.
Yeah.
Do you want basically? So if you want to check that, you're gonna turn on all indoor units and shut off valve kit or BC controllers in the refrigerant system before the outdoor unit back on. If the remedy above does not reset the error, turn off the power of the BC controller and leave it off for at least 1 minute, and then perform the remedy above again.
Yeah.
Reset power.
Yeah, reset power. Make sure that your indoor units and branch controllers, if it's Y series shut off valve kit, are powered on first. So again, and it's an adjustment from previous generation. Let's say you had an indoor unit that wasn't functioning. It needed a part or something. You could just power off that indoor unit. Yep. And the rest of the system would run. It would, you'd power cycle. But then once it does its daisy chain search, it would show it as a power outage, but it's fine. It would let the whole system run. Well, now you might get an error code for that 7121 saying that indoor unit is powered off. And part of that is... again, refrigerant safety. If the indoor unit's refrigerant sensor is not powered, what are we supposed to do if a leak happens, right? And so there's some things that are going to happen. The system is going to isolate that run. So LEVs L and B will all close for that port if it detects the power outage. And that's just an automatic to make sure that no refrigerant leaks into that space. So there's some stuff that goes on with that, but you just have to be aware. You can't do what we maybe used to do, where you power things off while the system was operating. You have to keep everything powered on, or it doesn't like it, and it'll give you this 7121. Yeah, and it happened to me in Atlanta. I had an indoor unit that was powered. I didn't realize that they had put switches on everything, and some of the switches were off. And sure enough, I tried to start the system. There was a handful of indoor units that weren't powered, and I got the 7121. So especially during startup, make sure that all your indoor units are powered on first, then power on your outdoor unit. Same power up sequence we've always preached, but then make sure you don't power off any indoor units while the outdoor unit is still powered on.
Makes sense.
Yep. And then our final one is the 7130. And this kind of goes in hand with some of the other ones we talked about. But the 7130 is essentially you took an indoor unit from a 410A system and tried to put it on the R32. Yeah. You're going to get the 7130. There's a couple things to check. Obviously, you want to make sure that your model and capacity settings are set properly on that indoor unit. And then obviously verify that the model number for that unit is not a 410 by accident. Some mistake happens. But before you try to get sneaky and reuse indoor units from a 410 system, it's not going to work. It will give you that 7130 error code.
So it seems like a lot of these codes, some of these codes seem like it's a lot about compatibility.
Yes. Yeah. Is that rain
I have no idea, but it's pretty loud.
Yeah, this podcast kit is pretty good at noise canceling, but if you heard some noise start in the last few seconds, I'm pretty sure it just started pouring outside. So apologies for the background noise. But yeah, it is a lot about compatibility. And again, it's all safety related. If the indoor unit is a 410 system, it's not going to have the built-in refrigerant sensor. If it doesn't have the refrigerant sensor, it can't sense if a leak happens. Because we have the A2L refrigerant. That's not an option for us. So it's really just making sure that, you know, the system has the proper components and the proper logic built into it to keep, you know, these spaces safe.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for the error codes. There is a lot more changes. Like I said, they're all covered in the new course, and they're on an e-learning. Currently, they're actually, you can go online right now if you wanted to your contractor portal and attend the e-learning for the class.
Nice.
All that information's in there. We talk about the new daisy chain. We talk about some of the outputs that have changed, like on the branch controller, having some outputs in the event of a refrigerant leak and how we can use that to energize fans and all that stuff. So it's got some upgrades. There's a lot of new things with the equipment. But on the troubleshooting side, it does add some error codes, and it's good to know about them.
Definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about it. The only good pizza place I know around here is that Blue Square Pizza I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah. I want to try that.
You said you haven't tried it yet.
I haven't tried it. I definitely want to try that place.
Yeah, it's all sourdough crusts. And we've talked about it on the podcast too, but it's all sourdough crust. So whether it's Detroit style, Chicago, New York, or they call it cracker crust, all of those are sourdough. Yeah. And then they have all these different toppings.
Are you a deep dish pizza person?
I'm not. It's okay. Like, I don't dislike it. But my experience with it when I had it was, this tastes like what I was expecting it to taste like. Like, I'd had the commercialized Uno's pizza and I had Lou Malnati's, and there wasn't a drastic enough difference for me to be like, Chicago deep dish is the way to go. Yeah. It does taste good. It's not bad. If it was put in front of me, I'd eat it, but typically it's not my favorite.
For me, I think I've never had one, but I would just think it's like you cut into it and it's just like a bunch of mush coming out of it. And it doesn't sound very appealing to me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't remember it being very mushy, but it's just, you know, it's a different. I mean, I eat it with a fork and a knife.
Yeah.
I don't eat it like a traditional slice. And I think I grew up more on the New York style, and that's
if
just
I
what
have
I'm
a
used
fork
to.
and a knife, how is it a pizza?
It's a pizza pie.
Just saying.
Yeah. But that's like what Maruka's was. Maruka's is like almost like New York style, where you got to fold it in half and make the two triangles.
Exactly.
Which I like. I that's one of my favorite types of pizza.
Yeah.
Go
have you had a crab rangoon pizza?
No, I have not. Good.
I have one near my area.
Yeah.
Very good.
I'm willing to bet I would like it because I like weird toppings on pizza. And if Paul was here, he'd be pulling his hair out. But like, I love a Hawaiian pizza.
Do you?
I swapped the ham for bacon, but a bacon and pineapple pizza
that sounds really good
with Alfredo instead of the pizza sauce.
Yeah, that actually sounds better.
It's wicked good. I love that pizza. We have a grocery store locally called Big Y. Big Y makes a cheeseburger pizza.
Oh,
so it's ground hamburger.
Yeah.
Pickles, ketchup. Actually, no, they don't do the ketchup. They use the tomato sauce for that, but mustard. And dude, it's phenomenal.
Yep.
It's the best.
Yeah, we have a local spot near us too. They call it the Big Mac pizza. Same thing.
Yeah. It's so good.
It's very good.
So good.
Very good.
So I'm a fan of the weird toppings. But I will always go for like a pepperoni and hot honey is one of my favorites.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
I haven't
the
had
hot
a
honey.
Detroit pizza.
No. Detroit's pretty good.
Yeah, no.
It's so it reminded me, like at least the one at Blue Square Grill. You know, Elio's pizzas, or like the pizzas you used to get in high school.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Oh, okay.
Like fluffy.
Yep.
And definitely a dense bread, or crust, I guess you'd call it. But with a like true Detroit style pizza.
Yeah.
It's definitely got like a nice texture. It's not like, it doesn't taste like frozen pizza. It tastes amazing, but it's got the texture and like the shape and everything of like an Elio's.
Really good.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. But yeah, the hot honey, I put that on pretty much anything.
Yeah.
I put it on like my pasta. I just throw it on everything. Oh yeah, it's so good. I love hot honey. Thank God Steve and Paul aren't on this one. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.